Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me again for the exchange. I'm so excited because my husband has agreed to do this with me. So, this is going to be our vlog. I'm so excited. Yay! He doesn't look like he's excited, but he's really excited. But so today, and this is a place I just want to say because he's gonna try to throw me off. This is a place where we come and we bring our pain. We talk about serious issues so that we can empower you to live your best life. And so today, what I want to talk about is an interesting topic that I learned during the last semester, and it was talking about loss aversion. Now, this particular term is a part of behavioral economics. And what it says is that people are more sensitive to loss or losing money in the stock market as opposed to when they gain money in a stock market. So their joy of actually experiencing that gain in money is short lived, but when they lose money, it's long lived. And so I was thinking about that, and I really wanted to, I thought that that was just an interesting topic. And especially during a season, when everyone isn't happy, people are dealing with with lost loved ones. They may have gotten a prognosis from the doctor. Just so many different things are going on. People, they may have lost a job. And so I wanted to really empower you so that you're able to do the things that and just be happy during this season. So Dwayne, he is a worship leader, and some time ago you were telling me about how you prepare to worship, and you would say that you would look and you would look at the little things, you would look at the big things, and how all of that help you to worship. And I think it's important because it helps us to take our focus off of all of the negative things that are going on in our lives and actually focus on those things which that are greater than ourselves. So can you help us help someone, give a encouraging word to help someone?
Okay, first let me say that I too dealt with I guess you can almost say, the depression of this season. And mine was concerning, not having my children around a lot. I know this is very personal, but I'm being very transparent. So, this time of the season was not always the happiest time for me. There are a lot of dads out there, and some who, have something to do with their children, some who have nothing to do with their children at all, and then there's some who always wanted to have, relationships with their children because of other circumstances and things going on. You don't have them, and so I'm probably going to speak also to the children and the young adults now who did not have their fathers around. Listen, there were always times that I wanted to be around my children, but I may have been out of state or things like that, where I wasn't able to be there because of the circumstance, but not because I didn't love them and did not want to be a part of their lives and be there. So the struggle was always, not being there, and the pain of that. And I'm sure there are other people, women as well as fathers, who were separated from their children, either, some parents who are in prison and things like that, where it's painful for them not to be a part of their lives, their children's lives. However, what had to happen for me was, because I was a worshiper, I began to change my whole thought process when it came down to this moment. Not to say that I still wasn't a Grinch at times, during the season, but I changed my whole concept and mindset when it came down to that. I had to worship. I had to lead people who were hurting and dealing with issues themselves, and I had to put mine to the side. So what I decided to do was to begin to really thank God for what I had. And not only that, in my worship, I began to see God putting everything back together. I began to see Him beginning to change my children's heart back towards me, because I changed my heart back towards them into a place where God would be in control of how it happened and when it happened. And so, that being said, what I started to do, I started to put my attention more on God and then on my situation and my problem and my issues and how I felt. So everything began to move towards where my heart really was. And that pretty much was once I gave my situation to God fully, not just feeling the pain, because you can get really depressed during these moments. However, I changed it and began to really thank God and be happy for what I had and for what God was going to do.
So, Dwayne, how did you? Because you said the things that you did was that you focused on God, and then you changed your situation. You started to do things to change your situation. So, I guess looking at the first point, how did you, if you were in a state of depression, how did you move out of that so that you were able to worship God?
Well, I had to realize that my situation was little compared to what God could do. What I felt and the things I felt, they were so small and minute when it came down to the whole concept and scheme of what God is going to do. If I didn't have my mindset or change or transform my mind to towards the things of God, then me being before the people of God would have affected a lot of people. So my worship had to change, and I really had to put all my energy and focus on God and what He's going to do, because what I did, and me worshiping helped so many different lives. I never really knew that it was happening, but the stories begin to come back to you later on when people come and say, "Hey, brother Dwayne, when you worshiped, you really blessed me. You don't know, I was in a deep place. I was in a dark place. I thought about committing suicide. I thought about killing myself. And you worshiped and you sang a song that blessed me, and I changed my mind about what I saw." So stories and things like that started to happen. And then also, I put my energy also in other children. Because my children weren't around me, I began to love on, bless, and train and mentor so many other lives of young people, whether they were little kids, whether they were teenagers, or whether they were young adults. I realized that when I started doing that I knew that things were going to happen and things were going to change for my life. Because God is not a God who's going to let you put all your energy in other people and forget about you and your situation. Our God is a God who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask. And so what I thought and what I asked for, please, He had such a greater plan. And even I can say today that I am so happy that my children have changed, that my situation with my children has changed to where our communication, they'll text and hit me up before I text and hit them up. They're reaching out to me and we're talking and we're laughing and we're hanging out. And I think God is really making up even those years of loss to be years of gain.
Amen.
Where they now think I'm crazy, which I am, funny. And then they really enjoy being around me and wanting to hear from me. And I get now to really sow into their lives and really speak into their lives where they really understand me as adults now, as young adults now. And I thank God for what He's doing for that. And listen, worship helped me. It helped me during those deep and dark times. I found songs and I found a place of worship that I believe were God sent, songs that helped me worship even harder. And even when days where I would see families come up to the altar and people would be around their children for christenings and things like that, I really had to really thank God and really begin to worship God, because that is what I wanted for my family. I wanted there to be a unified family presence, where our relationships are strong, where loving each other and in the things of God. So this season has definitely changed for me to whereas I am, to tell you the truth, I am much happier where I am right now. And I believe and I know that worship really helped me get there. And I know once I begin to change my mindset of what was more important, I think I started thinking more of the positive things of where I wanted, me to be at the time than dwell on the things where I'm really sad I'm not around my children. I'm really upset that I can't be there. I'm really, I changed my mindset.
And that really takes us back to that loss aversion. So you didn't focus on the loss anymore, but you were focusing in on the gain. So that's like really important, like you were saying, like worship, because worship takes the focus off of you, right?
It took the focus all off of me. And I had to think about the bigger picture. The bigger picture was not about me and my situation. Mm-hmm. The bigger picture was about the people that I was serving as I worshiped.
Right, right. That's good. That's good. Well, thank you. I mean, that's so awesome because, through the act of worship, we learn how we can take the focus off of our situations and the things that we're going through.
Yes.
From where we are right now, we worship God because He sees our situation through a whole different vantage point. He see our lives together. He see our bodies healed. He see us whole and prospering and achieving and just empowered. So thank you so much for that.
And another thing, Danielle, during those times of worship, I didn't ask God for Him to put my family situation back together. I worshiped God. I believed in my heart during my worship that He would begin to put things back together for me. But during time of worship, I didn't ask Him for anything. Right. I just worshiped Him for who He was and for all the things that I know He would do. But I didn't ask Him for anything. I just worshiped Him.
Wow, that's powerful. Thank you so much. And so we just want to say happy holidays to everyone.
Happy holidays.
And this season we're gonna worship. We're gonna get through this season because we trust in God and our faith looks up to Him because He's the only help that we know. So happy holidays.
Happy
everyone.
holidays.
From our family to yours.
Yes.